Fix It Tony here. Thanks for clicking on the video. So today we have a 2000 Chevrolet S10 Extreme. This is a rare one. If you know what this is, these are hard to find. Mostly with 4 cylinders. There's not a lot of V6 ones of these. This one does have the 4-cylinder. We did some work prior to pulling it into the bay here. We had a low coolant, and we're starting to get a vacuum in the coolant system, so we'll get that figured out. It was low in coolant. Also, it's been converted to an electric fan. We had some issues with the wiring. We went ahead and fixed that wiring issue. So now we're going to do an oil change, and this engine has over 200,000 miles, and it's been on synthetic oil most of its life, I'm pretty sure. But we're going to take a look inside, and we're going to start it on Valvoline Restore and Protect and see what we can do to clean this one out. So to get started here, we'll get her on the lift. Alrighty, so this has the 2.2. This uses an older style suspension, so you don't have the rack and pinions on these, but they handle surprisingly well. This has been upgraded with some KYBs, it looks like. Has the 2.2, not known for a ton of power, but very reliable. These have been, used to be called the Iron Dukes. They've been used since the 70s for General Motors. They're actually used in all the mail trucks too. Not known for power, but they make good torque and they're reliable. So, and the parts are pretty readily available. So we got underneath here, we have our normal kind of moisture. I would call this being a little bit wet from the front sail leak, which not bad. I mean, this engine pretty original, not a lot done to it. As you can see, not a lot going on that would make us worry. We've got a little bit of a leak right here, but I think it's coming from where our oil filter goes. That's from the drain. So anyway, we'll get this 13mm off and get her drained and take a look inside. Okie dokie. So we'll go ahead and drain our oil here. Try not to get it everywhere. 50-50 chance with these. We'll see what happens. And there we go. Not too bad. Got an oversized plug in here. Looks like we have an issue with the threads. Not a big deal. We'll deal with that accordingly. We'll just let this drain for a little while. See, there's an O-ring on here. Interesting. Not a big deal. We'll get her drained out and take a look inside. Alrighty. Well, the neat thing about these is that if you see this right here, it's a little track that is going to allow the oil from this filter to go down the same place right there as the oil coming out of the engine. So it's kind of nice. Makes it a little bit easier to get this out, because obviously this was never designed to be in this position necessarily. But we went ahead and got that going. We'll let that drain out. We're almost done draining here. Alrighty, so we're gonna get in here, scope the engine, see what we got. Alrighty, not too horrible. Windage tray there. Oops. She actually looks really good. Not dirty at all. You got your normal residue you would expect with this kind of mileage, but I don't see any carbon buildup, just a little bit of varnish. Not too shabby. So we'll go ahead and get her started and we'll take a look at her. Oh, hey Noah, an oil changer too. Alrighty, we'll put our drain plug back in here. This is an oversized plug. Next time we'll get the stuff and we'll drill this one out. You can see the oil's draining down from the filter up there. We're going to pull that out here in a moment. Tighten down this drain plug. Alright, so we'll get up here and grab this oil filter off. These use a 3387A. It's a pretty common filter. Mostly for the GMB6. As you can see, I'm tilting it so I get as much oil out of it as possible before I flip it around here, because I really don't want to dump oil over myself, because these are a little tricky. But that came out really good. The gasket's on there, so we're good there. We'll go ahead and put this one. We're going to open up that filter, take a look. We got our new filter here. Off a little cover. I do like that when they do put these plastic covers on here. Prevents dust and garbage from getting in there. So I'm going to give that a feel, make sure that that's good. We'll use some of that oil to lubricate that there. It's a good practice to run some water down here when you're done doing this, because what you want is that drip tray right there not to be dripping all over the place. Water is, you know, our parts cleaner, whatever. So we're going to flip this around Put our oil filter in, and then we're going to just go hand tight on it. Turning just fine here. And again, it's kind of in a weird position, but you just want to get it nice and firm on there. And that's good. Alrighty, we'll leave this here. That should finish draining out, dripping out there, and we'll pour a little bit of brake cleaner and parts cleaner, let it clean out that tray. And then we'll move on to take a look at this filter. Alrighty, so we went ahead and used our trusty tool here to go ahead and pop this oil filter open. And again, if you're looking for any of these tools, please look in the description. We have some affiliate links. It does help out the channel, so I appreciate if you use those. So take a look. Got a lot of crud in here. Quite a bit of crud in here. It looks like gasket maker, if I were to guess. Interesting. Not sure where that's going through the oil system, but that shouldn't be happening. Pour this oil out of here. Take a look. Nice and thick and sludgy. And nothing crazy in there, but it definitely, I'm not sure if that was caused by the going through the system, or is it part of this gasket. It looks more like it might be part of this gasket from Mobile One, but usually we see a lot more debris on here when we use Valvoline Restore and Protect. This filter looks good. I don't see any glitter in here. No metal particles in here. Not too shabby. There's definitely some gasket maker. It's like they tried gluing this to this. I don't know, you guys tell me. I don't use these very often. This is a 101, but that's interesting. It's the first time I've seen a bunch of RTV in one of these filters, so kind of interesting there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So one thing we're going to do right now is we're going to lubricate the Zerks. On these older trucks, this is really important. You can see it's been a while since this one's been done. You have upper and lower control arm bushings in here that have to be lubricated on a regular basis, along with your tie rods and your idler arm and your pitman arm. If you don't lubricate these will prematurely fail on you. They're not difficult to do. Just want to make sure they're clean. You have a greasing tool like this, and then you just go ahead and push her in and she'll go. Of course, it doesn't like really fast here. A little difficult there. There you go. Usually want to do it until you see some pop out there, but usually I do like 2 or 3 pumps, and you can see it jumping out right there. So we're good there. Same thing here. Boom. You can see that increasing in volume, so we know that's good. These ones are sometimes more difficult. Let's see if it. Sometimes it shoots out the side there. So sometimes you got to steer around a little bit to get those to move in the right position, but you can see it pumping up there. It's very important that you get a good amount of grease into these fittings. I'm going to get a right hand for that to get that to go on correctly, because if you don't, your suspension components and ball joints are going to go bad. And the ones that have bushings, these have ball joints. Some of them have bushings, some have ball joints, but it's very, very important. This one it's actually missing the Zerk fitting. You see it there, it's missing, so we'll have to go see if we have one sitting around we can replace that with. So I had my assistant jump in here and turn the wheel so we can get these two, but that's what your grease should look like. Should see a little bit shoot out the top. That's why you know you have enough. It's very important to keep these lubricated. It will make the suspension last a lot longer. A lot of people skip over this. I do have to find a Zerk for this one to replace this particular one. And these uppers, I'm going to have to actually remove the wheels because I can't get in the right angle, and I don't have a right angle piece for this. Probably something to go buy in the future here. We're going to take the front wheels off really quick and lubricate those. It's that important that these are done. You can kind of see how dry that is in there. That's not good. We want that to have plenty of grease. Right, so we took the wheel off. This makes this a lot easier. You can check the brake pads while we're doing this, or rotate tires or whatnot. We're not doing that today, but we do want to lubricate. As you can see, we've got a nice straight shot on it. And go ahead and hit the switch, Mikey. That's good right there. Let's see how much we have popping out. Nothing really yet. Go ahead and hit it a couple more times. That's good. pumping full of grease, but not a lot popped out the side, so this was pretty dry. These are aftermarket upper control arms, tubular style, which is kind of cool. I can feel a little bit of grease on there. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. Make sure that there's, pull this boot back a little bit and make sure the grease is going in. Oh yeah, see, you can see the grease is there. That's what it should look like, but this was pretty dry. So we're gonna add some more grease in there because it should have a little more grease in that. All right, good, 2 more shots. That's good. Alrighty. So it's very important, again, you want to make sure you lubricate these suspensions if you want those. Also have uppers, and these are the bushings I was talking about. All right, go ahead and hit it. Ooh, yeah, see it squirted out of there? That's what you're looking for. That way you know it's good. All right, we're on the opposite side doing the same thing. So I'm gonna push her down. All right, give her some grease here. That's good right there. Yeah, these definitely needed grease. There's no doubt about that. Alrighty, this is the more difficult one that I showed you on the other side. Kind of hard to get to. Probably why nobody greases them. Alright, go ahead. That's good. Yeah, these go a lot faster. Don't need a whole lot. They blow out pretty fast. And then this one right here. And they don't give you all the room in the world to work on these, but doesn't mean you get to neglect them. You need to grease this stuff. Alrighty. Alright, go ahead. That's good. Yeah, these other bushings, they don't need very much. And then put this thing on lock here. Okay. Sometimes I'm a hoarder, but sometimes I save stuff for a good reason, like a grease fitting that's missing. This has a little bit of an angle to it, but it'll still work. Mikey, you want to come hold, give this thing a couple of shots here. Yep. Oops. Alrighty. Alright, go ahead. Oh, we're good. A little overdue? Yeah, it's okay. You always want to just wipe off the excess, anything extra you got going here. This one's going to bleed up a little bit. We give it a little too much, but not a big deal.
Well done.
Not a big deal. Here you go. So when you're done doing all these, just wipe the excess away. That way you're not getting a bunch of extra road grime and whatnot. It's not that hard to deal with. Give her a little push and the excess will pop out. Not a big deal. So we'll go around, clean everything up here, and we'll get this truck on the floor. Oh, I should put this wheel back on. Then we'll get it back on the floor here and finish up our oil change. All right, so her wheel's back on. I'm gonna bring her down. This truck actually came back a while ago. I didn't film it, but we had to put a rear end in it. It had a rear axle seal leak, and unfortunately it leaked so much that it ended up breaking the rear end. And anybody who knows these trucks, these rear ends are easy to swap out, and to take to a shop and have them replace all the components and to do a differential, it was just cheaper to go find a donor rear end for 300 bucks and do a straight swap. So that's what we did with it last time. As you can see, this truck is dramatically lower than most S10s, about 1.5 inches. It has what they call the ZQ8 suspension package, and that's front lowering springs and spindles, which is kind of cool, from the factory. Also, it came with Bliston shocks, I believe, from the factory, and these have been switched out for KYB, but still quality. Our company called Decarbon, I think it's a French company. They send ones that do the suspensions on some of the Camaros and Firebirds, and it has some lowering blocks in the rear. But it gives a nice stance, and it has very nice handling, especially in the standard cab. It's a cool look to the truck. Very hard to find these in good condition. This one has been well cared for, so it's still around. So we got everything we need to do underneath done, so now we can go ahead and add our oil. Anybody who knows these 2.2s, the oil goes in the same place as the dipstick. Okay, so we have our Valvoline Restore and Protect. Remember to give these a good shake before pouring in oil. And again, I'm wearing my Meta glasses. I am actually thoroughly enjoying using these, so you guys can see everything I see. This engine takes 4.5 quarts, so we'll go ahead and pour this one. I am getting the new Meta 2s, and they have a widescreen. This is more of a portrait style filming. I'm a fan of it, but landscape is better, especially for YouTube. So I will be getting those shortly. Until then, please bear with me. They also have better stabilization. Some folks have been complaining in the comments that, oh, right on the money, they're getting a little sick from my constant head movement. So I try to be as still as possible when I'm working. Not a lot of grime on that, so you guys don't get motion sickness from me moving my head around with these glasses on. So anyway, we're going to jump in the truck here in a moment here, give her a start and see, double check our oil level. Un momento. Alrighty, so got this all done. Another Valvoline Restore and Protect engine. Start her up and see how she sounds. And everything looks good. Alright, going to kill it. We'll give our oil level a check here. We should be right on the money. We'll reset our change oil light. And this one's ready to go. Let's put some miles on her and see how she looks in a few months when she comes back. And take a look at oil level here. Yeah, you know what? It says 4.5 quarts, but honestly, you can see clear as day, still about a half quart low. So, you know what? We're going to go ahead and put that rest of the oil in there. You know, we did let it drain for about an hour. I know you guys didn't see that part, but sometimes you let it drain a little bit longer, needs a little bit more oil. Not a big deal. We're going to top her off there. That should put her right on the money. And we're done here. Again, we're approaching 5,000 subscribers. I appreciate you all tuning in. And I have a lot more projects coming. Actually, very quickly. A lot of projects coming. So please stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, and share. A lot of you guys are just watching and not subscribing. It doesn't cost anything, and it helps me out a tremendous amount to get you guys to subscribe. It beats the algorithm, and it suggests more people to watch my videos, which inspires me to do more of the videos. So again, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Put some comments in there and look for the affiliate links for any of the tools you see me using. Have a great day.